thanks for clicking on this video. My name is Zaji and today I want to share with you a little bit about some sewing things. In particular, I'm going to be sharing with you the patterns that I picked up and I'm now adding into my sewing collection. You all know that I love sewing patterns and I buy quite a bit of them, and I know that you all love to see them because you left me so many smileys in my last video. So if you're watching this video this time around and you are still loving pattern hauls, leave me a star emoji down below so that I know that you love them. And if you like sewing content, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. I make new videos every week, and yeah, just keep on watching. So I don't have these patterns in any particular order. I am going to start with the Mccall's patterns first just because I know that you all are excited to see some of these patterns as well. I know that these patterns have come out maybe a bit ago, but my store didn't get them until recently, and so as soon as they were there, I had to go ahead and get them. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the pattern that I have on top. And this pattern is actually one that I was questioning whether or not I was going to get, but I ended up deciding to because I think I have some ideas on how I kind of want to hack this pattern to do something a little bit different. So I am talking about Mccall's 8182. Now I am going to not try to put this up on the screen because my lighting will go even more crazy than it already is. So I'm going to have the photos on the screen somewhere just like I did in the last pattern haul because I think that'll just be easier for all of us. So this pattern is meant to be for a top. So the fabric that you would use would be something like a quilting cotton or something like a broadcloth or like a twill or something like that. This is definitely not meant to be a flowy kind of top. But I have visions of doing a much bigger sleeve than the sleeve that they have on this chica here because I like a short sleeve like anyone, but I like a big puffy sleeve a whole lot more. So I think I'm going to do some doctoring to this pattern and do a much bigger, fluffier sleeve with a really tight, I don't know, like laced up front. Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. I have no idea what the word for that is. That's going to kill me. Anyway, I just think it will be a super cute contrast. I haven't quite decided on what color yet, but I just have dreams of what I want this top to be. It very well may just be an overlayer at the end of the day, but honestly, I thought this style was so cute and not something that I have seen an actual pattern for with this much structure in it with the boning and everything. I just think it'll be a fun project to put together. I think this is labeled as an average as an average pattern, so I think it might take me a little bit more time than usual to complete it, but I think it'll be so beautiful and something that I feel could easily go between all seasons all year long. Okay, so the next pattern I have is 8147. Now this pattern, oh my gosh. Okay, so they got me already because they use this really pretty yellowy tan color for the sample that they have the model in. And I was looking at this like, I need some gold fabric because I want to make this top exactly. First off, I love the fact that this pattern has raglan sleeve lines or seaming for the sleeves. So it's a super easy sleeve to put into a top. Not only that, I love that there's so many different variations within this raglan style because raglan, you know, usually gets this reputation for being a little bit boring, a little bit simple, in my opinion, I guess. I, don't love a raglan on myself personally, but I love the idea of these humongous sleeves with a raglan or having so much volume up at the top and really playing with fun statement sleeves in a pattern that I feel like will be really easy for most people to work up. This is also labeled as an easy pattern, so I was so excited to see all the different variations of the sleeves, and y'all know I love a statement sleeve, so is it any question that this one ended up in my cart? I don't think so. This is Mccall's 8146, which is a pattern that I just see and it just screams springtime to me. Now obviously I can see myself wearing this at other points in time, but this design they have styled with jeans on the model, and I wouldn't that wouldn't have been the first thing I would have paired this top with, but I think it is such a beautiful top. I would see it much more with a more flowy pant, but I can see how they're making it a little more casual with the jeans. But I honestly love this pattern so much. The sleeves with the volume at the top, it just reminds me very much of the, oh my gosh, puff sleeve bodysuit that I have, but this is like a woven version, so you'd get a lot more dramatic kind of billowing at the arm, and I need that in my life. And it like calls for still a very flowy fabric, so this is definitely going to be something that I feel could just look so chic and so nice to put over it. Like, for example, how they have her with the jeans, and it just take your outfit just like you just put something on, but you're fancy though. And that's kind of where I'm trying to live at. And so I definitely want to make one of these because I think it'll look so beautiful in so many different occasions. I think it could be a really versatile top. The next pattern that I got is Mccall's 8141. This is labeled as an average pattern, although it does have those raglan seam lines that I was talking about before of the sleeve shapes. And this one is another pattern that has a lot of really beautiful variations. I really like the sample that they have drawn up because this looks like a dress that I very much can and probably will recreate. I don't know. I love the huge cuff. Like, I think that is just so flattering with how voluminous this particular sleeve is all the way through to the shoulder. It is just a humongous sleeve. So I believe this pattern is pretty fabric hungry. I'm looking, let me see, what version was this be? Oh, this pattern isn't as fabric hungry as I maybe would think it would be, especially with the length and the sleeve both being pretty large. It's still under 3 yards to make version B. You do have a lining that it calls for, and I think that that would be something that I would either pull from scraps of something else or would be able to get if I were to cut this pattern out on a single layer of 3 yards. I mean, you know, it is what it is, however you decide to buy your fabric, but I typically do just have a bunch of fabric here and I like to use that. So I try to be as crafty as I can with the cuts that I already have, and I think that this is one that you definitely could get out of 3 yards. Now, don't take that as gospel and then come back to me and say, hey, it didn't work, because I don't know if it will, but I would definitely try to make it work. So I really love the neckline of this dress. I think it is just so my style, and if you have seen any of the other things that I make on this channel, I think you could probably also guess that I picked up this pattern and put it into my cart. So this next pattern that I'm going to talk about is one of the few patterns that kind of came onto my radar before I was able to get into the store to get myself the patterns from this launch. And so I had so many questions. I had so many questions because I saw this photo online of the model wearing it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. I love the fact that it's also a split but also a wrap. Two details that I love on a dress, and it's made with jersey. This calls for a fabric that has 50% cross grade stretch. If you saw my last video where I talked about the dress that I made that didn't have that, you will understand that I am not averse to trying to make it work. But I do believe that I have a fabric in my stash that would work really well for this design, and that I'm actually pretty excited to use. This fabric or this dress calls for fabric that is stretchy, but it's also still very little fabric that you have to use. For the version A and version B, you're able to get the dress out of just 2 yards, which is always a steal. Now, obviously you could swap out the skirts, I think, for the shorter skirt and still be able to get the billowy sleeves of C if you wanted to, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn on which version I'd like to make most, but I really think this design would be so flattering, and I cannot wait to make one of these. So the next pattern that I got from Mccall's, this one is Mccall's 8152, and it is this beautiful set, like bandeau, oh, not a bandeau, what would you call this? I mean, they call it a top and a skirt, but it's just kind of like a crop top that has a tie in the front. And it's so pretty. And the color they have on her, like I said, again, I want to make this dress because I saw the color, or this set situation. It kind of, I guess it doesn't look like a dress, but in effect it is a dress because you would wear them together, but you could wear them separate, which is also a good selling point for this pattern. Like, I love the possibility of being able to make a cute top that I can wear with the skirt and it'd be a super cute outfit, but also thinking about wearing the top with maybe some jeans or with a different skirt, or wearing it with like high-waisted shorts or something in the summertime. I thought that was a super cute idea. So I'm really excited to see what fabric I end up picking to make this pattern with, because I think it will be absolutely stunning. And just the length, I'm someone who likes a high-low skirt, but I only like high-low skirts when they are this length, this maxi kind of length, because it just adds so much elegance and drama to your outfit. Like, nothing says, look at me, I'm gorgeous, more than a high-low skirt. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But I definitely see myself making this for the summertime. It calls for kind of stable, but not really that stable of fabrics, because you can use poplin, but you can also use like taffeta to make this dress, or top and skirt. I'm gonna stop saying dress. I promise, at some point. This is something that I feel like I would probably make with rayon, because I feel like I will like the drape, the comfortability and all of that a lot more. I think this is meant to maybe be something that's worn more so for an occasion, but you all know I don't need an occasion to get fully glam. So I'm thinking about doing this pattern with some rayon, a really beautiful rayon print that I think would look great with the big pleats on the front. Just everything about this pattern. This next pattern is Mccall's 8151. 8151 I saw and I debated for a while. Now, I debated it because I love to wear a skirt. I do love to wear a skirt, but sometimes certain skirts call for certain kinds of tops for them to look cute. I don't really know how else to explain that other than that. There's just some things that you definitely cannot get away with certain skirts, and I feel like I get kind of locked into like the same outfit every single time, which is not a bad thing, but I typically like to make separates that are going to be more versatile. But I got to thinking, and I picked up the pattern, obviously. Because I might decide that I have an occasion. My mind right now really has me looking at version B, and that's really what kind of sold me on the idea of this skirt, because I could see myself wearing this with a matching maybe cami or tank top or something like that, and it be a faux dress. And I have separates now that I can wear with other things. And I think that if I make this with a rayon, and it actually does ask for or call for crepes and satins, which is why I know that I'd be able to use a rayon interchangeably here for this pattern, and it would still look really beautiful. So I think if I do it in a rayon, or even a washed rayon, like a stone washed rayon, something that is a little bit more kind of soft looking, has that more airy kind of quality to it, I think it would look so beautiful and actually be very versatile to wear, not only in the springtime, but I think in the summertime as well. So yeah, I decided to get this pattern. And now I'm going to share with you the last skirt that I got from this release, because they had so many skirts, and you all know that I like a really dramatic skirt, but I find that obviously those aren't always as wearable, and I do prefer to wear skirts over wearing pants or something like that. Even though I enjoy making pants, I really don't wear them as much or reach for them as much if I can go for a skirt instead. So I like the fact that there was a good number of skirts in this this lineup, and I do see myself making quite a few of these. Now that I know that I can pretty much get most of these patterns out of 2 yards, I can really see myself being able to make a lot of them with the things that I have already. So we'll see. This next pattern is also a skirt. This is McCall's 8149, and this is for a, I think it's a yoke skirt is what you would call it. But these are kind of more in the style, ooh. These are kind of more in the style of like a jean skirt. But what I loved, and a detail that I would always look for when I saw skirts that have this kind of silhouette, is they have a version that zips all the way from the top to the bottom. And you could do that modification to anything, but this one has the zipper without the yoke, which is something that I prefer in skirts that are shaped like this. And I owned so many skirts like this ready to wear before I started making my own clothing. And I feel like making one of these now in like a beautiful leather again, because I do have, or did have, do I still have that skirt? I don't know. But I did have a leather skirt in both brown and black that were like version A, little mini skirt with the zip that went all the way from the top to the bottom. I have to figure out how I would secure that, because I do have a toddler who's learning about zippers, so that could be risky. So I do need to put some sort of security there so I'm not completely exposed. It's just a fear of mine. When you have kids, you never know. You never know. But I do look forward to making one of these skirts. I don't know what length yet or what fabric yet, but I love the idea of being able to recreate one of those skirts again. And this pattern is McCall's 8140, and I also debated this pattern quite a bit, because whereas I do love a structured dress, and I do love dresses that have a lot of details and things, I wasn't sure that I was completely convinced by this pattern. I don't know what fabric that they used, but I wasn't a huge fan of the sample, and I had to really just look at the lines and see if I would prefer this pattern if it were not sewn up with the fabric that they had used. And I decided I did. I really detest the sample. I'm not really sure why. I do love florals, but I don't love the fabric that they used here. But when I started looking more closely at the seam lines and looking at the actual design of this pattern, I saw so much potential in this being such a cute spring blazer style dress. And I love the fit of this dress and the way that the dress is designed. I think that it adds so many details to a silhouette that I feel has lost a lot of the femininity to it. So I know that for a long time that blazer dresses and things like that had really come into fashion, but they were so boxy. There was really very little shape. And to me, I just would not wear that even if I did make it, because I prefer things that do highlight my figure a little bit better. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just feel like this design added so much shape and so much life and so much femininity to a design that I really didn't love the masculinity of. However, I think the shaping is really beautiful, and it does recommend like crepes and brocade and things like that. And oh, I feel like it could be a super beautiful dress if it was made in a fabric that I preferred more. So I am going to be on the lookout. I am actually going to be doing a fabric haul pretty soon, showing you the fabrics that I'm purchasing, because I am going to get a couple of things to kind of, well, not kind of, but to make some of these designs. And this is another one that doesn't require very much fabric. However, it does also have a lining. So you will probably need a little bit more than 3 yards of fabric total to make this design. But a lining can obviously be made with just about anything. And lining fabrics are usually pretty inexpensive just because they're obviously going to be hidden. So I see myself making this dress. I don't know when I'll make this dress. I'm hoping that I'll make it in time for spring because I think it would be very beautiful. Like, they have this beautiful hot pink version, which was the version A of this design, and I think it's really cute in that color, but I just don't know. I just don't know, y'all. I just don't know. I love this pattern though. So the next pattern that I'm going to talk about is Mccall's 8175. I love this pattern so much because it has the cutouts on the side, and I think my husband will really enjoy that detail as well. He always loves when there's a cutout in something, and I typically do make more things with cutouts in the summertime and like leading up to that time. So I think this will be a dress that I probably will save for a little bit later on in the spring season. But I do love so many of the options that are here. This dress comes with various different options for the sleeves, for the dress length, and I think that it's such a cute design. It's definitely one that you can choose and grab for when you have a fabric that's a little bit larger in scale. I think this would definitely be a pattern that would suit that because it does have so few seams, and it is relatively, I don't know what the word is, it's just not gathered, so you wouldn't have a lot of distortion on a larger scale print. And so it does recommend like challis and crepes and things like that, and I definitely can see that being something that I would go for this pattern. And I think it would be super beautiful to have for the springtime as we kind of transition into more warm weather. I have another Mccall's pattern here, but this is actually a Mccall's pattern that is older. This didn't come out with the spring release, but this says resort wear like nobody else's business to me. I saw this pattern and thought about a life of leisure, being on vacation. I really want to be on vacation in an outfit like this. You all have already heard me talk about some of the other patterns that I've bought for my maybe vacation this year. Who knows if that will even happen. But I love all of the versions of this pattern. I do know some adjustments that I will definitely be making right off the bat. And I'm definitely going to be raising or lengthening the crotch line of these pants so that they sit a little bit higher on my waist. And I'm probably going to lengthen the top to be a little bit longer because whereas I do love a crop top, I don't love where the crop top stops on this pattern. And I'm usually someone who is okay with the lengths of the crop tops that are offered. However, this one I just feel like I'd want it to be longer. I have had patterns ready to wear that I've bought similar to this since this pattern has come out, or maybe before this pattern came out. On my YouTube channel for my 21st birthday, I was wearing a top just like version A of this pattern that I got from maybe Forever 21 or some store like that, or maybe I thrifted it, I'm not sure. But I also will put in another photo of me in another top that's the same kind of style as version A, or maybe it's closer to version B, I'm not sure. But I love this style of top, especially to wear when it's real warm outside. So this is something that I think I'll probably make a little bit further down the line again, closer to summertime, just like the other Mccall's pattern I showed you that was from the early spring release. But yeah, with the full, like just being a full vision in like a tropical print on your vacay says nothing but good things for me. Okay, and so now I'm going to move on into the patterns that I got from Simplicity. I'm not sure actually how many patterns I've already done, but you're definitely halfway at this point. So I'm going to share the patterns that I got for my daughter just super quick because these are all pretty much kind of necessity style patterns. I don't know if I'm going to say necessity style, but these are just some patterns that I grabbed for my daughter because I do want to start to make a couple of these things because she needs them as she's growing out of the ones I've made for her before. So the first Simplicity pattern that I got is Simplicity 9198. And this is for a pattern for the vest, the shirt that she's wearing, and another shirt variation, and some leggings. Now, I'm sure that this pattern is sized a little bit on the larger size, mostly because I find that with Simplicity and their younger kids clothing, that they tend to just have so much ease. And I mean, it's kind of frustrating because my daughter would normally be able to also fit into like a 3T size, but because of the extra ease with these kinds of patterns, I find that she is just a little bit too small for them still if it says a size 3. So I think I may still make this pattern as a size 3, but I might just take a larger seam allowance and see if that kind of helps me with the extra ease so that she's able to wear this stuff now, because I do want to make these pretty soon. Gosh, I have a lot of stuff that I said I wanted to make, and I always do. But this for her I thought would be so cute, and I loved the little kind of, what would you call that? I guess it's like a flounce, I guess, on the sleeve. I thought that was so adorable in the version she has, and I don't make a lot of things in purple, but I do have some purple fabric that I know I won't use for myself, so I'm probably going to use it to make some of the things here for Nala, and I think she's going to love it so much. The next pattern is Simplicity 9196. This is for a couple of jumpers, like jumper dresses. Is that what they call these? Yeah, jumper dresses. There's a lot of different variations, and I'm hoping that because this fabric, or because this pattern calls for less than a yard of fabric, or lots of them are pretty close to like the 1 yard mark, I think I would be able to get this pattern for my daughter out of some scraps from some other wovens that I'm going to be using to make things for myself. And so I thought this would be a really good pattern to kind of use up my scraps and make her something cute as well. And obviously, depending on what fabric I make these out of, Nala could wear these all the way through into the summertime or fall time, who knows, because like I said, this pattern set, well, I didn't say about this pattern set, but the past 2 patterns have been for sizes 3 to 8, which may or may not work for her. So I think, like I said, I'm going to make this one in a size 3, but just take maybe a little bit larger of a seam allowance and see if that helps me, especially in areas like the side seams and the shoulder seams. Everything else I would do pretty much the same. So we'll see, but I think that this will be such a cute design, and I could use some really cute flannels or some really cute quilting cottons, things like that, and I think it would just be, it would be beautiful. The next pattern that I got is Simplicity 9214, which is another children's pattern. However, this one goes down to a size 2. And so I really want to make her version B. I think I might make her a couple of version D and F. I want to get some kind of sleepy themed like jersey fabric to make this pattern with, because I don't really have any right now, and I don't want to use fabric that she could be wearing out. If I can find some cute sleep themed ones and maybe add some Cricut iron-ons and stuff on there and make it just really cute pajamas, because I'm just a little bit frustrated with the pajamas I've been able to find in stores for her. So this is definitely a pattern that I think will come in handy for me, and I've already bought some fleece actually to make her version B, and I am still going to have my eyes peeled for some sleep themed ones or some sleep themed fabric to make the other versions. I'm pretty sure all of them call for like knits of some sort. There isn't really a stretch requirement on these, but I would definitely be more likely to make her something with like a rayon or a cotton or a fleece, like I said, and that could be something that I think my daughter will wear just kind of around the house when we're just hanging out and she doesn't want to be cold, like a robe. But yeah, 2-year-olds in robes are not very successful. Ask me how I know. Okay, and the last pattern that I actually have for my daughter, I thought the other one was the last one, but I forgot about this top. And I think, let's see, this is Simplicity 9200, and these are for some tops. This is again one of those size 3 situations, so I think that I might just try to finesse with a size 3 and, you know, do the sizing techniques that I was talking about before to maybe help her with the fit. But I thought these were so adorable, and for spring I thought it would be such a cute little staple top for her to have and for her to be able to throw on if we, you know, decide to go out for something. I don't know. She'll just be cute in it anyway. She can wear it to school. Who knows? But I love the sleeve variations on here, and I thought they were absolutely adorable. So I do think that I would make a couple of these for my daughter, because she would absolutely love to have a shirt that's this flowy and that, you know, her arms could have all kinds of motions and stuff with. She would love it. So I think it would be really cute to make for her. And I'm thinking that I will be able to make it with some extra fabric that I have, you know, from another project for myself, because it does actually call for woven. So like chalets, it also says lightweight linen and like double Georgette. I was thinking also that it might be really beautiful with like a linen or something. Did I already say linen? I think I said linen. But I want to make it with maybe a linen as well. So we'll see. It does call for a pretty good amount of fabric, even with the 60 inch width. You still are going to be using close to 1.5 yards for a kid's top, which is a lot. Wait, if you ask me. But you could make this with a lightweight jersey, like a rayon jersey, as well, because I believe that all of the seaming and everything is pretty loose, and it does have elastic to finish off the neckline. So that was all of the kids patterns from Simplicity. So now I'm going to share a couple of the other patterns. I am still waiting on so many patterns to arrive to my Joann's, and I don't know when that will happen, but these are the patterns that I was able to scoop up that I wanted also for their from their new line, and a couple of older patterns, but some of these I know are recent releases from Simplicity. The next pattern that I have is Simplicity 9136. This is a raglan style dress. This pattern is actually for a woven fabric. Now I'm falling in love with woven raglans, as you can see. I picked up a couple of them, and I thought that this would be such a cute dress to have as like something that you could make very casual, but it would be really good for layering. And I was thinking, how cute would a jean jacket over the dress that she's wearing, the sample that she has on, how cute would that be? Or underneath a cardigan or something. And I thought that this would be a cute pattern to do that with, because the sleeves are rather tight fitting, and it also has a really smooth silhouette. So I think this would be a really good layering piece, especially for the springtime. But when it gets to be summertime, if you didn't want to layer with it, I thought it would also be really, really cute to have just on its own. So I am loving the fact that also this pattern doesn't call for just one kind of woven. It has chambray on here, flannel, lightweight denim, linen, poplin. You could also use knits with this design, and I just thought this would be a cute kind of layering piece, honestly, and that's what I intend to use it for. And I think that it'll come together pretty quickly, because it just has, I think, the darts in the front, and then everything else is really just a seam, some gathering for the waist, girl, and you're done. So I think this would be a really good pattern to add to your stash for layering in the springtime. The next pattern I have to talk about is Simplicity S8878. This pattern is one that I feel will come together really quickly. I do typically go for dresses that have some sort of waist seaming, some sort of waist definition, just because I prefer those silhouettes on my body shape. But I thought that this might be a cute switch up, and sometimes I really surprise myself when I pick designs that I don't normally go for and I find something that I really like. For instance, with the raglan. I don't typically go for raglans, but I've seen so many patterns come out that do a lot of fun details with that, and this shift dress I think is really cute because it has an opportunity for some really cute decorative top stitching for the pockets and for the collars and sleeves, but also I love the tie detail, but I think it looks really classic and beautiful and elegant without that. And I really like the denim version that is on this pattern's envelope, the sample that they've done, and I think that that would be a way that I definitely would want to wear this pattern as well. So I definitely put it in the basket. The next pattern I have here is Simplicity 9137. This is for a dress with, it says cross front or cross back, so it could be a wrap style dress, or you could have the crossover in the back and have the flat front. But I thought this was just such a cute idea and a really nice design to be able to use with quilting cottons and things like that, because this dress doesn't have a lot of gathering. I feel like it would be really beautiful to use a pretty quilting cotton fabric, and you would be able to have just a sweet looking dress and it not look so poofed, because that's for real when you have a lot of gathering at the waist. But I love the sweet little tie on here. I don't know why I think this dress is just so sweet. I think it's because of the pinstripes that the sample is made up in, but obviously you can make it in a beautiful floral or something, and I think it would just be really pretty. I see myself making this pattern, but definitely more so closer to summertime, because it doesn't have any options for a sleeve, and I'm not a huge fan of wearing sleeveless dresses like this over top of anything else. The next pattern I'm going to talk about is Simplicity 9177. This pattern is for a top, and this has a lot of details that I really loved. I kind of like how it kind of looks like a chef coat in the sample anyway. I don't really know why they chose white. I guess it is supposed to be a play on like a traditional kind of shirt, but it does have the kind of wrap over front that I believe chef coats have. So I don't know, I thought that was so cute, and I like the idea of playing it up with a white fabric as well. So I really just love the details. I love the collar on the sample that they have on the envelope, and I could definitely see myself making this with a silky, maybe something with a little bit more shine, and definitely a different color as well as maybe the white. I really like the details on this. I don't know. I haven't really seen very many people talk about this pattern, but I thought it was really cute. I don't love how they've styled it, but you know, hey, I like the lines of this top a lot, and the sleeves. Yeah, it called for me. And so the last dress of this video is actually Simplicity 9139, and this pattern is for a kind of tunic style dress. I think it's, okay, so it says it's a relaxed v-neck and caftan, and it has a tie as well. And I thought this design was so cute, and it just looked so utilitarian, casual, chic. I love the look of this, and I can really see myself making it in a stonewash kind of fabric or in a linen or something like that for the summertime, and it just being so comfortable when it's just sticky hot outside. And I thought that this would be such a cute variation to maybe just wearing like a simple tunic that's just flat on the front. I love the pleat detail that it has for this dress, and I really like the fact that they've drafted the belt for you, so you can give yourself a little bit of definition at the waist if you want it. I just think it's really cute. I think it'll be really useful come the summertime as well. And I still miscounted, so I have one more pattern, and this is actually a pattern for Nala. This is for a gown, and I definitely want to make her a couple of these gowns. I don't think that I'll be making these ones anytime soon, just because it's a little bit too unpredictably warm sometimes for me to make her something that would be this hot at night. At this point, we have a lot of long sleeve stuff for her already, so I would be making this definitely later on in the year so that she's able to wear it when it starts to get real cold again. But we'll see. I might try and just shorten the sleeves on this or something, and maybe make her something more soon. Oh my goodness, I don't know. That did not sound right either way, but I thought this was just a sweet, classic looking pattern, like a gown that I would maybe see for like decades ago. Like, I don't see patterns like this or gowns like this in stores at all anymore, and I think they're so cute. And so they have it as a top and pants, and I could potentially make this style as shorts and a top, and you know, make it work. So we'll see. But I do love the idea of the long sleeve one that's really long, a long maxi length for her, and I think it would just be so sweet. So I had to pick this up when I saw it, because I'm just a sucker for patterns, so it didn't take much. So these are all the patterns that I have picked up, and added to my collection. I really liked all of these patterns so much when I saw them, and even now having them home, I'm so happy to add them to my collection. So let me know what patterns you were thinking about getting from the early spring release, or if there's some patterns that you think I should have gotten from this release that I didn't, down below. And also let me know what simplicity patterns you would like for me to maybe pick up, or you think I should pick up, that you've seen come out recently. And with that, I think I'm gonna love and leave you, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Bye-bye.